Alright, dudes and dudettes, this is it. You wanted it, motherfuckers, so it's coming. The Age of Sigmar review. Hey guys, my name is Gus, I am Colour of the Gods, and today we're going to be going through the Warhammer Age of Sigmar book review. Yes! Oh god, oh Jesus. So, I've compiled a huge list of notes on the subject of the Age of Sigmar, but first and foremost, I mean obviously we can't speak about the Age of Sigmar without speaking about Warhammer Fantasy Battle, its predecessor. So I mean from the outset I will say that, I mean, do I even like Age of Sigmar and do I like Warhammer Fantasy Battle? Age of Sigmar, the rules in and of itself, independent from everything around it, what came before it, and the book, so just the rules. I like the rules. Just the rules themselves. Don't give me some hate, I'll explain in a minute. I do just like the rules. They're great, I think. Warhammer Fantasy Battle, yeah. I do like Warhammer Fantasy Battle, but not in its previous incarnation of 8th edition. 8th edition had a lot of problems, which I'll go through, that were really... There was a lot of problems with the game, and it wasn't great. It wasn't as great as its previous editions, let me just say that. Like, I really liked 6th and 7th edition. My favourite edition of Warhammer Fantasy Battle is actually 3rd edition, which was released in 87, and that goes in line with my favourite edition of 40k, which is Rogue Trader, which was 87 as well. And actually later on in the video we're going to do a book comparison of what the old Games Workshop books look like compared to the new one. So again, we can't talk about Age of Sigmar without talking about Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So let me go through Warhammer Fantasy Battle a little bit first. So let me go through a couple of the problems that I think Warhammer Fantasy Battle had. One of my biggest bugbears with Warhammer Fantasy Battle, let me just get one of the books out. Yeah, motherfuckers, look at that! Yeah! Yeah! So, fucking mother. So one of my biggest problems with Warhammer Fantasy Battle, not so much obviously the core rulebook, but the army books, there was a lot of redundant units, and that really pissed me off because you had all of these great models, and you had a lot of choice, but most of that choice didn't really count in terms of they were crap in the game. So it was like you would ignore, you know, 75% of the stuff in your army book because it was shit. And that was frankly unacceptable. I mean, you know, you go out and you go, oh, that's a cool model, and you buy it because it's a cool model, and you paint it because it's a cool model, and then you look in your army book and you're like, this is crap. You know what I mean? It's just bullshit. Like that was one of my biggest bugbears with Warhammer, and I really didn't like it. And that was across all of the armies. All of the armies, you could just like cut out 75% of your army book because it was rubbish. It was wank. The other thing with Warhammer was, I mean, it wasn't so much of a problem with myself, but I know a lot of people had a problem with it, was the high barrier to entry. Now, it is a huge problem for a game. I mean, if, for example, if you looked at any other game other than Games Workshop stuff, let's just take anything, let's say like, I don't know, Dystopian Wars, or Black Powder, or, I don't know, what else is popular at the moment? You know, Drop Zone Commander, that's got a pretty high barrier to entry. Flames of War, War Machine Hordes, all these games. Imagine if you had the same high barrier to entry for those games. You had to spend like 200 to 300 pounds on those games. Nobody would fucking play them. They'd be like, I'm not spending 300 quid just to start a game. Ain't gonna happen. But with Warhammer, people did. That was one of the big problems. You go, okay, I really like this hero, but you're like, well, you can't play that hero unless you buy this core unit, that core unit, this special unit, this rare unit. Then you can buy a hero, and you've dropped like 300 bucks. It's like, no, the barrier to entry is way, way, way too high. The other thing is it had a, I wouldn't say a dwindling player base, but it had a significantly smaller player base than, for example, Warhammer 40,000. Now, again, this is not too much of a problem. I mean, you could organise games. You just had to, you know, organise in advance, ask somebody, hey, you want a game of fantasy? Fine, let's meet down the club, X date, and play a game. Fine. But I wouldn't say it was a dwindling player base. I would say it was a smaller player base, but still significantly higher than games other than Games Workshop games. So, I don't know. Could be a bit of a moot point, but it's something to mention. The The other thing with Warhammer Fantasy was it was taken a lot more seriously than other games. It was a very serious game. It was very competitive. It was for the true general, the true genius that could figure out maneuver and deployment and unit composition. The true genius of wargaming, which is a complete bunch of fucking shit. Okay, so a lot of people that played this game took themselves way too seriously. They were just a fucking bunch of jokers, and you know, there was a lot of very competitive people, which made the game frankly shit. So when you're playing against these arseholes, it was like you lost in turn 1. You put your army down, you go 2 Hydras, yeah, Cauldron of Blood, fucking 50 Witch Elves, and you're like, thanks for the game, arsehole, I'm gonna pack my shit away and go home. It's like, and there was a lot of people like that in Fantasy. That was the really frustrating thing with Fantasy, was you pretty much had to only play against your buddies. If you played against anybody else, you had to be a competitive arsehole to get past like the second turn. It was ridiculous, and it really gripped my shit. So one of the other things with this game, I mean, you can tell by the size of this rulebook. This is the collector's edition, of course, so it is a bit bigger because the pages are thicker. But one of the other very frustrating things about Warhammer Fantasy Battle was that a lot of the time, I certainly found myself, and a lot of other people found themselves, playing the rules and not playing the game, because you've got a lot of rules to remember just in the core book. Okay, this is a point in Age of Sigmar as well, but it's more with the war scrolls than it is with the core rules. But a lot of the time you'd be playing the rules and you wouldn't be playing the game. So instead of thinking about your units and how to maneuver them and how to, you know, enact tactics and how to different formations, you'd be thinking, wait a second, this rule does this and this rule does that, so I can't do that. And so you play the rules more than you play the game, if that makes sense. And again, just my opinion on that one. A couple of bonuses then. Warhammer Fantasy Battle had beautiful books. The books are amazing. Like, just, I mean, the collector's edition, I mean, this is a beautiful book. It really is. The production quality is amazing. The art is amazing. All the quality of the pictures is great. The quality of just like the printing of everything was amazing. You know, the binding was great. Like, and the army books were beautiful. They were amazing army books. They were evocative. All the background and the lore and the stories was really strong stuff, and really powerful. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Now, going off the point I mentioned earlier about having to have a lot of miniatures in the game, that was actually one of the things I liked. I liked seeing, you know, legions of troops ranked up, advancing forwards. That was the cool thing. I like that. In games, I like mass battles. I really enjoy that. So then, I'm going to go through a couple of problems with Age of Sigmar. Don't worry, it's going to get better. So, with Age of Sigmar then, there are some problems. Yeah, some pretty frustrating problems actually, because I mean they're saying the rules what to do, but it doesn't make fucking sense. So, the abstract rules about measuring, okay? A lot of people are just going, well, let's just measure off the base. But the rules don't say that. The rules don't say measure off the base. The rules say measure from the model. That's what the rules say. So if you go off the rules and you model your skeletons with spears so they're sticking out the front, then you're going to have an extra inch of reach. Or if you want to be a complete arsehole, what you do is you use square bases, because of course if you use square bases you get a much tighter frontage, therefore more attacks. But what you do is you get a square base, one single long square base, and you stick your troops like shoulder behind shoulder, so they ranked up so tightly you basically couldn't get them any closer. Then you give them reach weapons that stick out really far, and you put it on a bigger base so the opponent can't get to you. And that's the rules. So, you know, open for abuse. That, you know, putting that lightly. But again, if you're playing with your buddies, if you're playing with somebody who's half decent, you like, just measure for the base, it makes sense, right? And again, it's open to abuse from the modelling side and from the measuring side. You know, we're going to see it, we are going to see it, people being complete knobs with this, and modelling the miniatures packed really close with stuff sticking out the front. It's going to be silly. But, okay, you know, the rulebook then. Like I said at the beginning, I like the Age of Sigmar rules. Discount those one or two negative points. The rules themselves I like. I really like the rules. They're very easy to get into. It's got a very low barrier to entry, which is great. Absolutely great. And again, I'm talking about Age of Sigmar by itself now. We're going to do the comparison between Warhammer Fantasy Battle and you know, what's been going on in the Wargaming world in a minute. But the rules in and of themselves, I like them. Okay? The book. I think this book sucks a big pile of fucking donkey dick. It sucks. It's it's terrible. I can't believe I spent money on this. It sucks. It's so fucking bad. Like, when you go through this book, okay, it's written like a child's book. The letters are all bigger, and there's more spacing between the sentences, and you get like a little column of writing on each page. We're going to go camera down in a minute, and you'll see. It's fucking bullshit. Like, there's hardly anything in this book. And all the pictures, there's about 4 pieces of art in this book that I really like. All the rest is like the same picture, just done over. These stupid fucking Sigmarines. I'm only calling them stupid because they keep repeating in the book. If you like the models, fine, whatever. Your opinion, but that's okay. But they keep on repeating the same picture over and over and over again. You keep seeing the same stuff, and it sucks. Okay? And again, like, you hardly get any information. You get your 4 pages of rules sandwiched in the middle with a big pile of donkey shit on one side and a big pile of horse wank on the other side. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, that said, the scenario is actually quite cool. But again, there's like hardly any lore, there's hardly any background story, there's nothing that's really pushing that sort of narrative and fluff-based feel of the game, like there is in Warhammer. You just don't get it in this, at least in my opinion, and not a lot of it. And like I said, the same picks throughout, and I mean, this is £45, okay? £45 for a book where you're really getting nothing in it. You're getting minimal stuff in there, okay? £45. That ain't worth £45. I'm sorry, but it isn't, okay? So, the aesthetic thing. It's very different, okay? And in my opinion, it's up to personal taste. And I'm talking about the comparison between the new miniatures and the old miniatures. I personally much prefer the old miniatures, but it's personal taste, you know. I mean, geez, if somebody likes the new stuff, you're not going to hold it against them for liking some miniatures. I mean, come on, you know. So a lot of people like the new stuff, and that's fine, but it's just a very different aesthetic from what it was before. And I mean, it goes back to the thing of now they're on round bases, and you've got a lot more, physically, a lot more space to model your stuff. Whereas in Warhammer, if everything ranked up, you were limited to a sort of a column cube, because obviously you don't want to, the miniatures can't be like bumping the miniatures on the other side of them because they're ranked up. So you only really had a sort of square cube where they were like marching forward with their weapon, and that was it. Whereas now they've got more freedom to add movement and add weapons and fucking shit sticking out and all that crap. So fine, just something to note. The aesthetic is just very different. Once again, chaps, I like the new rules. The rules in and of themselves are great, okay? Now, this is getting to the crux of the issue, okay? I don't understand. I've pondered this for many weeks now. I do not understand why they couldn't have kept both. Yes, the argument is for shelf space. How much shelf space does a starter box and rulebooks take up? Minimal. You could just switch some of the older Warhammer Fantasy Battle stuff to direct only and just stick this on the shelves alongside Warhammer Fantasy Battle, because this game is perfect for getting people into Games Workshop gaming. This is like the marijuana of gaming. This is the gateway drug, you know, to get people fucking smoking the joint that is the Age of Sigmar, to go up to the fucking cocaine that is Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I mean, it's the perfect thing. But they got rid of Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and I don't understand why they did it. I don't understand the logic. They could have kept both, and they would have made more fucking money if they did that, because it would get people into fantasy and buying more shit. So I don't know why they couldn't have kept both, and that's the thing that a lot of people are really, really angry about, including myself. You know, fine if they kept both, but because they've gotten rid of Warhammer Fantasy Battle, 30 years of gaming, of fluff, of background, of lore, of strong narrative gaming, of a great story, of great miniatures, of evolving rules over 30 years, of, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands of hours of you know, joyful gaming is gone. They just got rid of it, and I don't understand why. They could have kept both, but they replaced it with Age of Sigmar. And that is what people are pissed off about. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to have a look at the book, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare it to the older Warhammer Fantasy Battle books and see the difference in the amount of information and the amount of quality content you get per page compared to what they used to do. and you'll get to see why I don't think this book is worth £45. Sigmar! Okay, ladies and gents, what we have here is we have Warhammer Fantasy Battle 3rd edition, my favourite edition from 1987. Got Mr. Priestley on the front cover, obviously he's one of the authors, and we've got the new Age of Sigmar with the artwork on the front that you are going to see repeated many, many times over. So let's crack these two fuckers open and see what's inside. So, with Age of Sigmar then, you'll see my complaint from the get-go. The text is all bigger, and the spacing between all the text is larger. So you are literally getting less information. Contrast this with the very first page of Warhammer Fantasy Battle 3rd edition, and you're assaulted by text and information. This will literally grow your brain by 2 inches. Reading cover to cover. That is how much information is in here. Your brain will grow an extra lobe called the Warhammer lobe on the prefrontal cortex. No shitting. And again, it was the first thing that I noticed when I opened the Age of Sigmar rulebook. The size of the text and the gaps in between. It's like a child's book. It's like a children's book. And fine, if it's designed for children, okay. But I hate to break it to you, there's a lot of adults that play this game too. So, I mean, you get some pretty evocative artwork. You know, a lot of it is of course semi digital art. I chatted with a lot of the artists at one of the games days, and that's what they do. They sort of do a mix between the two. You do it like a kind of a semi-digital art, and you've got the iconic Sigmarines. So, I mean, I'm going to pay more attention, of course, to the Age of Sigmar book because that's what I'm really reviewing. But the Warhammer Fantasy 3rd edition is just to contrast the two. Okay, yes, of course, you get a lot of black and white art, but who cares? Black and white art can be just as good. And you get a lot of pictures of the miniatures, and you get a hell of a lot of information. Unlike the Age of Sigmar. And again, look at the art. It's the same shit over and over, man. You know, there we are, same art again, same dudes. Hardly any information. And this crap. What is this? It's ridiculous. This is just fucking filler. Oh, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go into Paint and create a picture of a frickin' one of these new things, then copy and paste it like 20 times over, and then just stick it on a page. I can't stand it when they do this. It sucks. Same thing again. Oh yeah, we'll just add in some crap colour schemes and make filler. Oh look, the same art all over again. Funny that, oh, the same art again! It's just getting more and more! Oh my god! See, this is cool. This is the kind of art that I associate with well, it's not even called Warhammer Fantasy Battle anymore, is it, you fucking idiot? With Age of Sigmar Fantasy Battles. This kind of art. This is cool. This is great. This is evocative. This is like Blanche style art. Detailed. The art itself is full of information. This is good stuff. But unfortunately, it doesn't occur very often in the book. And I mean, again, you look at the use of space, okay? Look at the huge gaps at the top of the page, and look at the huge gaps at the bottom of the page. They're just covering, trying to cover pages for pages' sake. This book could be like a third of the size, easily. Okay, it's a waste of paper. Be kind to trees. Oh my god, it's the same thing again. Oh Jesus, really? Oh, and more of this crap. There we are, brilliant. Okay, here we've got something different. We've got lizard men. I like lizard men. Only because it's something different than frickin' Sigmarines and and the new chaos stuff. I mean, come on. Okay, we've got some dwarves, we've got a blood test, that's cool. See, this is cool. This is one of the pieces of art that I really like in the book. They should have more art like this. This is great, okay? This is what I like to see when it comes to fantasy battles, okay? You know, this is good stuff. Really, really nice piece of art. Really evocative. There's lots going on. A huge battle and, the heroes in the background and these crazed, lords fighting each other and in the background. Domination and control. This is great, okay? Got some more undead stuff, which is nice. And one of the funny things in this book is, we'll see it when we get to the end, is they only list the battle scrolls for a few armies, and they add in Skaven, I think? See, another great piece of art. Unfortunately, this doesn't occur very often in the book. There's only about 4 pieces of art that I really like. This is great. Again, evocative, epic. A sense of size and space as the picture sort of spans backwards. And you got the legions fighting it out in the front here. This is fantasy battle art, gentlemen. Then you've got cool stuff like this. I like these pictures, okay? But again, I'm a bit unsure as to if it should take up so much space. I mean, it's really nice. I like this kind of art, so bonus there, definitely. Oh look, we've got the same thing again. And the same thing again. And the same thing again! It doesn't end! Oh my god! It's like, what? Fucking, why? Why? Why they keep just repeating the same art over and over? It's so frustrating to see. I bought this book, right? And I was excited. I was like, wow, this is great. I can't wait to open this book. And I was literally getting more and more pissed off every single page I turned. My blood pressure was going up. You know, at the end I nearly had congestive heart failure. I mean, come on. Games Workshop nearly gave me a heart attack. That's how bad this book is. Okay, we've got some cool miniatures here. That's fantastic. Actually well painted, because obviously their standard of painting has been dropping over the years, which sucks. You know, like this. Nice artwork, but again, huge gaps at the top, huge gaps at the bottom, a little sliver of writing. So there's not that much in terms of lore, you know. See, I mean, this is interesting art as well. You've got, but it's got one of the new guys in it. But this is, you know, this is very nice. But again, not a lot of information. You know, the amount of information in this book is minimal, to say the least. So you got something on the Yorkshire, which is great. I don't know if this is any new art. I believe this might be reused, or that might be reused, at least parts of it anyway. The Age of Chaos. Okay, you got some on the War of the Undead. But again, like, if you look at the amount of information you're actually getting, I mean, like, you look at it and you think, wow, this is a lot of information, right? You look at this and you think, hey, there's a lot of info here. But it's not. It will take you about 2 minutes to read through all the stuff, because there's actually not that much here. It's an illusion. You know, it's an illusion that there's a lot of stuff here. Again, you compare it to the 3rd edition over here, where it is packed. Like, getting through a page of this will take you an evening, because there's so much on it. Whereas getting through a page of this will take you about 5 minutes. Okay? I mean, it'll take a fucking rhesus monkey a bit longer, but who cares? And again, you know, like, you look at this book and there's like hordes of miniatures, and they're telling you how to paint stuff, and there's like a shading chart and like all these color charts, you know, more miniatures, how to, like, look at all the information, setting up games step by step. They're telling you everything you need to know about the rules. You know, they even tell you how to build your table. They tell you, they go, okay, well, you want a game of Warhammer Fantasy Battles, you're going to need a table. We're going to show you how to build your table so you can start the game. I mean, you don't get this kind of quality anymore. You know, terrain, telling you how to build terrain, how to build houses. It's great. It's great. You know, step by step through everything you need. Not just the miniatures and the rules, not just the background, but literally everything you need, step by step. You don't get quality like this anymore. Breakdown of, right, you move, not from the miniature, you move from the fucking base, okay? This is how you move. This is what happens when you move into rough terrain. The effects of the terrain. It's fantastic. This is jam-packed. And if we fast forward in this book, and you'll see what I mean by the amount of information. I mean, look, this is fantastic. And some of the art in this is I mean, look, guys, I know it's old. I know you're thinking, oh, it's a bit quirky and it's a bit old. But some of the shit is brutal. See people's skulls getting fucking caved in. It's fantastic. And you just don't get that anymore. I mean, you see Slanesh wandering around with their fucking cock out, you know, and the transsexual that she is. Warning, do not read if you're not an adult. Kind of shit. And you don't get that anymore. You know, that's what it's all about. Look at that. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, anyway, so let's go back to the new book. So you get some blurb on each of the races. You get some semi-interesting art and very little text, and the same thing again. The same thing again. More of the new stuff. More of the new stuff. More of the new stuff. It's like each page you turn, you can feel them, you know, slipping their hand deeper and deeper into your pocket. It's like, you will buy this. You will buy this. Look at the next page. You will buy this. It just goes on. And, okay, more new stuff. More new stuff. Demonettes, of course, the new ones that don't have tits and cocks hanging out, which is a shame. And you can see the comparison right here between the, you know, Space Marines and the new what are they called, Sigmarites. See, this is cool. This is some fun stuff. Something different from the norm. Some undead. I like undead. I play undead. And this is just pages of miniatures. I mean, look how much space this is taking up. You didn't need to fill 2 pages. How many pages? You know, all these pages of just the miniatures. You could put these on like 1 page and then have some text and some information, some background, some lore, and some history of the world. Something evocative to add some sort of weight and character to what's going on in the picture. But no, they're just showing off pages. It's like the new White Dwarf. What it's called Visions, where they just have pages of miniatures. It's a waste of paper and it's a waste of ink. I mean, they're literally cutting down. You know, one of these books takes 100 square kilometers of Amazon rainforest to create. That's what you're doing. You're buying 100 square kilometers of the Amazon rainforest in one book for £45. It's a good deal. Unfortunately, I had to chop down all those trees to do it. And the ink, Jesus, I don't know how many squids they're squeezing to get the ink out, but it's a lot, especially the black ink. Poor fucking squids, man. Think of the squids. Think of the squids and think of the rainforest. That's what you got to think of. And think of the rhesus monkeys that they recruit from the rainforest to write this shit as well. Those poor fucking monkeys aren't getting paid a lot. You know, they're paid as interns. And they get their contract cancelled after one month and the monkeys are out the fucking door. See you, rhesus monkey. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the background. Thanks for the few lines of text. You're out. It's abuse, I tell you. It's really abuse. So, you know, lots of pages of just miniatures. And again, minimal text. Here we go. Here's the meat and potatoes of the issue. So you got the rules here, which is fantastic. Again, I like the rules, ladies and gents. The rules for this game, I think, are good. I genuinely like them. I've played Age of Sigmar, and I think it's a really good rule system. I like it. It's just everything either side of it sucks dick. That's the problem. So let's have a look at the rules, okay? The rules are only 4 pages. They're clear. They are concise. You know, once upon a time, Churchill wrote a letter. And in the letter he said, I'm sorry the letter was so long, I didn't have time to make it shorter. Because making things clear and concise and short is difficult. Trust me, it's difficult. It's easy to, with the rules anyway, it's easy to just blurb out loads of stuff and make things confusing. But making them clear and concise and summarized is actually a very difficult thing to do. And they've done that with this. And I think they've done a very, very good job. It's only 4 pages. I'm telling you now, that 4 pages does take some effort, okay? So it's good. I like the new rules. I think the new rules are great. I enjoy the game. I think it's really fantastic. I think the rules themselves are a step in the right direction. Again, I don't know why they couldn't have kept both Fantasy and Sigmar, but that's their business decision. Fine. But the rules are great. I really like the rules. And I'm not going to go through the rules explaining them because it's so easy to learn. That's one of the great things about the game. You can get the rules online free. You can get all the war scrolls online free. You know, and you've got everything you need, which is great. Okay, the Realm Gate Wars begin. More Sigmarines. Minimal information. The Brimstone Peninsula, blah blah. Nice, nice, there we are. Nice. Lots of cool information in one picture. You look at that and you go, oh, we could do a battle there. Let's make some mountain terrain and a fucking pyramid and do all this cool stuff, or let's make volcanoes. You like pick a little area. Oh, there's battles here. We can follow the battle line, and we can plan something like here. Maybe a next battle happened at the estuary to this weird chaos lake, and you know, evocative, gives you ideas. You know, it's got strong. Just looking at the picture, it evokes strong narrative. That's what it's all about, and there's not enough of it. More. Jesus. Okay, so this is one of the things I do like. Okay, I think there could be a lot more narration, and I think a lot more text and a lot more background to each of these scenarios. That's by the by. Fine. I like the scenarios. The scenarios are fun. Okay, I don't know why they couldn't just be in a PDF. They might be in a PDF. I might be wrong, but I don't know why they couldn't just put them in a PDF. But I like the scenarios. This is a bit of gold in the book. This is a bit of quality content. This is what we want. Okay. So they've got all these scenarios, which I think are quite good fun, okay? Oh, the new stuff. Hand further into the pocket. You will buy the new stuff. We will reach into your pocket and we will pull your money out. Because you will buy the new stuff. On and on. There we are. Okay, Watchtower, like classic old scenario. I mean, they're obviously different to the old stuff, but these scenarios are cool. I like the ritual. The ritual. Blood for the blood god. Skull for the skull god. Yeah. This is awesome. This. God damn it! I dropped my phone. Blood for the blood god. Yeah. Blood for the blood god. Blood for the blood god. let's get back into character. Okay, so again, we've got some cool scenarios. I like the scenarios. They're fun. They're good, and there's a lot of them, which is quite cool. So they've got you know, some other sort of background here, some other specific battles and encounters, and again they actually do frame them quite well before the scenario. They give you quite a cool little story narrative. Again, it's not enough. I don't think it's enough, and they're using up space for space's sake. But again, the scenarios are quite nice, and they give you a lot of them. That's the great thing. So as we start going through the scenarios here, the next thing that we're going to come to. Oh, here we are. See, this art is great. Fourth piece of art that I really like. This is great. I mean, you look at this and you can almost smell the page. You can smell that horrible, nagly, pustule-infested, rotting thing. You can smell it from the page because you can see all the textures. It's like they create that they just capture that nurgle feeling, don't they? When you look at that, you think, oh, these stinky bastards, they're all dirty, but it's great. That's what we want. So, you know, another scenario based on that. Okay, more scenarios. Oh yeah. Hand deeper into the pocket. We've reached the testicles. We can feel the testicles. So again, lots of scenarios, and they're good. So let's just page through these. Again, you've got gold there. They've got good scenarios. Legends of War. Okay. So here they tell you how to use the war scrolls. They give you the section called hints and tips. It's not really hints and tips. This is like, they should say errata or amendments to the rules. You should be using these hints and tips, ladies and gents. That's actually like, they've almost like amended some of the rules. Like when to use ability, random values, keywords, minimum ranges, modifiers, save off, what does it actually mean? And then they start giving you the war scrolls. Again, like, this is just filler. Why do they give this to you? Like, you can get all this shit online. Why are they giving it to you in the back of the rulebook? And it's so strange because they give you the new Sigmar, I can't remember what they're called, Liberators and the new stuff, which is fine, and they give you the Chaos stuff as well. You know, Chaos Blood Reavers, and then they give you, yeah, that's it. They give you Wood Elves, okay, which, yeah, I know it ties into some of the scenarios, but it's like, well, if you're going to give us Wood Elves, why don't you give us everything else? Like, I don't know. Like, it's strange. Anyway. And they give you some warbands that you can use. I like the idea of the new warbands, and the reason why is because the warbands almost give you a starting force. You go, okay, this is a warband. You need X, Y, and Z, which will give you some bonus rules. So this is like almost like a little starter army, like a suggestion for a starter army, which I like. I think that's great. Cool. And then the book ends with more towards the anus. Like, you will buy our stuff, you know. Okay, so that's that book. Ladies and gents, £45 for that. In my opinion, that is not worth £45, okay? So in summary, I like the scenarios. I really like the new rules. The new rules are great. And, you know, people say there's a lot of tactics with the new rules. I disagree. I think you can be very, very tactical with the new rules in terms of the way that you deploy your troops, the formations you use, the war bands that you use, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of tactics, I believe. Anyway, yes, it's more like games like War Machine. Fine, it's a step in the right direction. It's a step into the future. That's okay. That said, ladies and gentlemen, Warhammer Fantasy Battle is dead. Long live Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I hope you've enjoyed this brief review and my thoughts and opinions on the new Age of Sigmar. I hope it was mildly entertaining, but you know me, I like to express myself. Please leave your comments below. Tell me what you think in the description below. I'd be very interested to hear. And if you've got any questions about anything at all, wargaming or not wargaming, post them in the comments below, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, gents. The door is gone.